Well, I still remember the day, which was actually more than 4 decades ago, when this little device came to my house, a pocket calculator. It was one of those earliest models, and it was this big and weighed a bit more than the ones that we use today. I don't know if you're old enough to remember some of those, but at the time, it looked like, to us, it looked like something that belonged to the future. My uncle was there when it came. My uncle was there, and what he said was quite unforgettable. He said, after seeing the device, he said, "This stuff will make all of us stupid." I think what he meant was, what he was talking about was our tradition of mental calculation, mental arithmetics, which is a great way to train the brain. But he might have thought that this tradition would be lost in the future because of this very convenient device. And 4.5 decades later, which is today, a calculator is nothing. It's so taken for granted, and it's not even a physical stuff. It's an app or a default function of the mobile phone, and we depend too much on it. Whenever we do some simple calculation, we take it out and let it calculate. For example, my son was born in the year 2000, and it's 2016 now. I wonder how old he is. And you go, 2000, and wow, 4016, time flies. Well, while the calculator is nothing, this device, iPhone or whatever, on the other hand, is a super something. It's so smart. It has AI in it. 20 years ago, we used to memorize some of the phone numbers, at least a dozen of them, but now we don't have to, because this stuff will take care of everything. All you have to do is to tap. Or in the event that you are too lazy even to tap, you can just speak to it. Uncle Kazuo, then it will ring him up. Now, if you want to go somewhere, the place that you have never visited before, the traditional way is to ask someone the way to get there. Then she would say, okay, go down the street and turn left. This activity requires your cognitive functions, the orientation in space, namely. You need to project yourself in an imagined space. Your sense of direction will be tested, but not anymore. You have this. Just speak to it. Honmachi, 4丁目, Osaka, and then it will show you the quickest route from where you are to the destination, and all you have to do is to follow the instruction. You can get there. And wow, here's the Google Earth. I have a huge map of the city of Paris, and I pin it up on the wall in my house, and sometimes look at it and imagine myself being in the beautiful city. But now your imagination is not necessary with the Google. Just speak to it. Paris, Saint-Germain-des-Prés, 25, 1, 2, 3, and voila, you can actually see the street view and the McDonald's at the corner and a guy who's eating a hamburger there. Of course the face is obscured, but you can see the beard and the hamburger. And you can walk around, go back and forth, cross the street, and see what's going on. And you can fly into the sky and land in the middle of Manhattan, where there's another McDonald's. McDonald's are everywhere, so is AI. Wow, how far we have come from that goofy calculator. It's the 21st century. Now, AI can do almost everything what people can do. It can operate factory machines, it can drive a car, and it can translate one language into another. A couple of years ago, machine translation was only a source of jokes. You type in a sentence in one language, and the translation result comes out in an instant, but most of the times, it hardly makes any sense. Machine translation was that difficult. In 1960s, there was a multidisciplinary project took place in the United States whose goal was to create a translation machine. A lot of brilliant people, linguists, physicists, computer scientists, they tried so hard, but the project was not really successful. They were not able to create a machine translator which was as flexible as a human translator. A couple of years ago, it was like this. When you're courting a nice girl, an hour seems like a second. When you sit on a red-hot sender, a second seems like an hour. That's relativity. You have courting a good girl of one time it appears to be 1 second thought. I think when you were sitting on the top of the enthusiastic ashes 1 second it is wow. Oh, but that is the past. machine translation has evolved rapidly. I think this one's great. Definitely not the machine translation because computers don't have this kind of sense of craziness. Urinate with elegance. How? Like Louis XIV? Now the AI translation is getting more and more precise and accurate. I'm afraid that many professional translators have lost their jobs. Now, the fact that AI can translate and interpret from one language to another may surely discourage some students from learning a new language. What's the point of learning French or German or Chinese or whatever foreign language when a mobile phone can instantaneously interpret your conversation more accurately than a human translator? Or perhaps in the future, someone might invent a microchip that converts your brainwaves to a series of messages and send the signals directly to someone else's brain receptor, so that telepathy can take place. Then language will no longer mediate the conversation, just heart to heart, mind to mind, brain to brain. Then why do you try to learn a new language? It's simply a waste of time. If you think it's a waste of time, why don't you stop learning that? It's up to you. But that doesn't mean, that never ever means, that learning a new language is nonsense. Well, those who think the efficiency is the most important value in a floating word, the result is everything. Well, I agree partially, result is very important, but it's not everything. If, in terms of transportation, for example, people compete how fast they can move from one point to another, the best way is to ride a vehicle with the most powerful engine, right? Then what's that guy doing? Usain Bolt, what's he doing? This man is crazy because while he can drive a Porsche to move 200 meters, look, he's running. Now computer can perform perfect music. It can create any sounds, the trumpet, violin, flute, piano, the whole orchestra. Then how come those musicians practice 13, 14 hours a day? Why do opera houses and concert halls hire conductors who don't even play any instrument and hire so many musicians, including a guy who only clashes cymbals toward the end of the music? Why? Why do climbers climb mountains knowing that hiring a helicopter is a much faster, safer, and easier way? Why do IT guys run on the treadmill for their lives like hamsters, knowing that they can't go anywhere? Why? Why? Because we know that sometimes the process is more valuable than the result, especially in learning, in growing. The process matters. If the process has no value, then what's the life for? The goal of each individual's life is death. That's the result. So if the result, the ending, is the best part of your life, why do you live? You should have died right after you were born. Yes, AI is something. Computers can defeat human chess champions, human Go champions. It can translate, it can sing. It may take your job, it may take my job. But so what? There are plenty of things that human can do and computers can't do. Computer chess champions only play chess, but Garry Kasparov and Lee Sedol, those people, they not only play chess or Go, but they can take a walk, ride a bike, enjoy barbecue, and love their life, experiencing trials and errors, making mistakes, feeling the sense of achievement, which computers can never do. Well, AI is not our enemy. It's supposed to be a partner, something that makes our life better. But we shouldn't leave everything to machines. Machines are machines. Even if a microchip can make people smart, I won't depend on it because it's not fun. I'd rather be stupid. There's surely something much more exciting in learning than in receiving. So let's keep going.